Virgos, welcome and welcome back to the Honey Sea Star Tarot, and welcome to the weekend of August 2nd and 3rd. August is finally here, our most memorable birthday season of a lifetime. I am so excited. Before we get started though, I just want to say thank you guys so much for each and every one of you, for all the ways that you love, support this channel, me, each other. Truly, each one of you is a blessing. Each one of you makes a difference, and I love you back. So this weekend is really quite profound. It's very prolific. It's got a lot of truth in action. We've got Mercury Cazimi that just happened. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. But that was like total depths of the Scorpio Moon, walking through the fire. And now it's like you're making sense of it, getting grounded, astrologically speaking. And then two, walking in your truth. And if you need a little truth as well, check out, I'm so excited. I made amends with Mercury retrograde. I feel good about it. But either way, I finally was able to put together the truth about the zodiacs, the soul contracts, and astrology. So I released that here. Check it out if you're looking for a little bit of ancient truth, ancient teachings, and more importantly, enlightenment, empowerment in your soul's journey in this life and through lifetimes. For this reading, like I say though, this is all about action and standing in your truth. So coming into this weekend right away on August 2nd, the moon is in Scorpio still, but it's going to be sextile with Mars. And remember, Mars is in Virgo in our first house. That's our house of self. And so it's like, especially with our go-getter planet, it's standing up for yourself, your relationships, what you believe in, your long-term goals, and taking action on them. And so this sextile, this harmony, really presents a wonderful climate of personal growth and action, especially after all that deep transformation, that spiritual awakening and enlightening that Mercury Cazimi gave us with being in Leo and in our 12th house of spirituality alongside the sun. So right away with the cosmos here, what Spirit's really wanting you to know is to find ways to lighten up. There was a lot of heavy work here that was done. All of July too, with all the retrogrades, with all the outer planets taking action and changing signs. There's been a lot of transformation that Virgos have gone through in July. Coming into August, this is the time where it's like you are magnetized to getting what you desire, It's about breathing and receiving. And so this is the time really to find ways to lighten up and to not take everything so seriously, especially with all those deep dives that we've done. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. I know I am right along with you being a Virgo. This weekend really presents a harmony with that though, making sense of it. So with the sextile between the moon in Scorpio and then Mars, this is all about a heightened awareness and your drive, matching energies with each other. And so it's basically looking at achieving the positive changes that you want to make in your life on a very physical form, or in a very physical form. And so this, especially with Mars being here, this is very much related, thank you, to your health, your well-being, both physically, mentally, even spiritually here as well. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. Look at all of this. Okay, I'm loving the cards that are popping out here right away. So both conflict and temptation came in reverse. Talk about awesome. I got goosebumps already. Okay, I'll try and calm it down. But right away with the tarot, this is the end of conflict. This is peace, cooperation, harmony, agreements, right? August. Breathe and receive through compromise as well, especially coming in on the on the 6th, sorry. But basically right now, or on the 1st, I should say, sorry, I'm not looking at my monthly notes, but on the 1st, we had basically the square between Venus and Neptune and Saturn. Both of those guys are in our 8th house in Aries in retrograde, aligning us to our dream life, aligning us as well to building structure, wealth, on a path that really builds our legacy and our true calling. Venus is our heart's desires, right? And she's really basically here with this friction with that square to square off in a way that challenges, do you really know what you want? What do you see in your destiny? This is where if there was conflicts or conflicting matters between those two aspects of getting from point A to point B, the conflict is coming to an end. And especially with this sextile, you've got Mars working on your side for its last moments in Virgo, last moments in our first house, before Mars moves over into our second house in Libra. Spoiler alert, check out the monthly reading if you haven't seen it. But when Mars enters Libra in our second house, this is all about income, salary, self-worth. Remember, we've got Uranus and Gemini in our 10th house, shaking things up in our career path. Neptune's aligning us to our dream life. We also have Saturn in retrograde, realigning and questioning, like building strength, wealth, structure, discipline, and truly something that's much more than just a career, much more than just a job, but it's more of like, how do we go through all this transformation? This is where Mars is helping us with its last day in Virgo to really look at our first house and say, hey, we need to make some changes. Let's make sense of all this transformation. Let's get grounded in the body, in our spirituality, and two, overcoming any blocked growth. That includes addictions. If you've been struggling with smoking or maybe drinking, things like that, that basically you're kind of coming to this realization where it's like, this is poking holes not only in my physical health, it's poking holes in my spiritual aura. This is preventing me from receiving my messages, my downloads, my path. And this is really taking great steps where you'll feel encouraged to prioritize incorporating self-care into your daily routines, committing to an exercise routine if you've been thinking about it, talking about it, but not necessarily making the steps towards it, I guess. I know I've struggled myself with this. This is coming to those revelations of like, hey, it's not going to happen. My manifestations are not going to happen unless I take action. But that also goes into part of the manifestation piece of relaxation, balance, rest, chakra alignment, your spiritual health, and how important it is when it comes to your mental health and your physical alignment. It's that brain-heart alignment and also harmony when it comes to our alignment with the earth. So practices, you may be very urged to go into practices or being pulled to practices of like yoga, meditation, journaling as well, writing down all those downloads from Mercury, the inspiration that came from Cazimi as well. Check out that video. I'm just saying it was huge. I know I felt it, and if you did too, put a heart in the comments below. But this is where you're moving into a very grounded, as I would put it, even though it's not astrologically here, a Taurian energy that basically allows you with Saturn, with the help of Saturn, to achieve success in your long-term goals, and with the help of Mars here really too, reigniting or keeping that fire burning within you, not only your divine fire, but your go-getter. This sextile also brings harmony to your emotions, to your healing, especially from that Mercury Cazimi with all these epiphanies, the spiritual awakening, and the square between Venus and Saturn and Neptune. This has provoked a lot of changes or challenges of really looking at, particularly could be an authoritarian figure, but what I see in a lot of ways, reading this a different way with the King of Pentacles, is like if you've been challenged on the financial aspects, especially with Mercury in retrograde too, something from the past that's held you back. Say a previous employer, you left on bad terms and you're afraid to you didn't take any connections from with that, from that lifetime, I guess, from that life with you into this new life. But now you're like, hey, I really want to try and not only connect with those people, but I want to use those skills that I gained. I don't want to just, it's like you're coming to this harmony and balance of healing where it's like, hey, you know what? I was really good at that job and I learned a lot of skills. I don't need to throw it all away necessarily. What can I do to bring those into my present day life? What can I do to pave that way forward, even to connections, maybe too, even though bridges were burned on the larger scale, maybe things were left on bad terms, you still have some really good friendships, some really good coworkers that can speak for you, even though the company and you weren't aligned. And if that makes sense, if that resonates, like I say, share your thoughts in the comments below. But this is really reading it another way. Like I say, with Mars, go-getter planet, We got structure, we got wealth coming in, especially with August, especially with Saturn right now and Neptune. This is building wealth, prosperity, heading towards your legacy with dedication and stability and knowing who you are, what you stand for. And it's stand for something or fall for everything, right? That's kind of the biggest lesson of this past that you kind of left behind. Now you know exactly who you are, what you stand for, and you're standing firm in knowing exactly who you are, and you're shining your light rather than allowing others to dim it or tear you down. So with Mars, this is basically connecting you at your emotional core with your outward drive, with your motivations, with pursuing what truly calls to your heart, with purpose, with fortitude, with wisdom, from like professional ambitions to health, to fitness, to mental and spiritual health, in your relationships, in your commitments. If you were torn between two choices, this is where it's like you're looking at things and seeing things for what they were, as they are, especially as the moon moves into Sagittarius on August 3rd, where you were blind to the truth, caught in the middle, maybe seeing things as a point of denial as well, with not facing, like finding comfort in a false reality, or finding comfort in false finances, if that makes sense as well, is what I'm really hearing. This is where you're looking at those hard choices, seeing things for what they are, but more importantly, charging forward with that Sagittarian energy. That's like basically being more aligned to what's more fulfilling, something that's better, new experiences, the search of truth, wisdom, adventure, experiencing your soul's calling, living your soul's life, everything that you signed up for in your soul's journey, for exactly what it's meant to be, because all these aspects, all the falsehoods of comfort, were really meant to prepare you for the here and now. Because August, like I say, I cannot stress it enough, is so prolific. Get ready to breathe and receive. It's time to fly. There are so many things that are good that are happening for Virgos in August, and it's exciting. Like, this month is so astrologically packed. We also not only have the 8-8 portal, wealth, prosperity, opportunity, but we also have, on that same day, a grand air trine happening between our second, our sixth, and our 10th houses, between Mars, Pluto, and Uranus. This is like Pluto's in our home, right? Reinventing our spiritual warrior, connected with shakeups and breakups, huge career shifts when it comes to Uranus in our 10th house in Gemini. Then we also have Mars moving into Libra. This is going after and saying to the world, this is what I'm worth. And so a lot of it will question with this grand air trine of, like, not to get too far ahead into this, into the month here already, but this is where it's like Mars in Libra is very much going to be saying, energetically speaking, I'm worth way more than what I'm getting paid for. I'm not even doing what I love from Uranus. Pluto's like, hey, you know what though? We got the inner strength to go after this. And this is total air energy and such a beautiful combination. Everything is locked and loaded. But on the 3rd, before we get there, this is where the moon is moving into Sagittarius. There's trines. This is so astrologically busy, I tell you what. So check this out. The moon's in Sagittarius. It happens to be trine with Saturn and Neptune in our 8th house in Aries, with Mercury in Leo in our 12th house of spirituality, transformation, spirituality, harmony with truth. It's also sextile, working harmoniously, cooperatively with Pluto in Aquarius. It's also in opposition with Uranus in Gemini in our 10th house of career, fame, reputation, what you want to be known for. This is a day to face your fears and walk in your truth. And this is where it's like a new path is presenting itself. Choices, if you were torn between choices where it was causing stagnancy before, you know exactly which way to go. And it's a new opportunity. There's options, yes, but it's a desire for change, for travel. You're moving possibly even to a new location, but that's what's driving you. It's the time that really marks deep professional and personal transformation. Embracing your voice, embracing your truth, not taking everything so seriously, and walking forward with your heart as light as a feather when it comes to finding your freedom, when it comes to founding your freedom as well. Wow, the cards are really tough. Okay, that's a lot. I know you want to stop. Okay, let's go through these before we get too far ahead here, because, oh my goodness, I don't even know what came out right away. I think it was this guy first. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at this, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. Talk about transformation. Check this out. So like I say, this is a day to face your fears. It marks a time of deep professional and personal transformation. Embracing your voice, your direction, your spiritual path, your career, your calling, your emotions, your direction, your action. This is gorgeous energy. And like I was saying too, the Sagittarian moon embodies the spirit of the explorer. This is where it's like you are going after your 10 of Pentacles and you're not letting anything set you back. You're not letting anything stop you. You're going after lasting wealth. Because remember, Saturn, this is long-lasting change. This is long-lasting stability, particularly when it comes to your family life, particularly when it comes to your financial security, your foundations, family achievements, business partners. You know exactly who you're willing to work with and who you're not willing to work with, right? Because of what they bring to the table with their genuine nature. Standing in basically their truth, as opposed to just trying to put falsehoods out there. And especially with all these aspects with the Scorpio moon, there's been a lot of deceptive aspects or people that have maybe come in where you're like, wait a minute, I'm seeing through some things here. I'm seeing the truth for exactly as it is. I'm not trying to call in everybody. I'm choosing quality over quantity. And Venus is also kissing us here at this point as well. Underneath or above the foundation of Virgo here. Above our foundation of grounding with that earth energy. This is also with the transition. You are going for it. There's growth. This is the beginning. You're tearing down what was meant to break you down, all to make you who you were meant to be. And that includes, with the Nine of Swords, any type of anxieties, fears, right? This is where it's like you are looking at fear, you're facing fears for exactly what they are, whatever makes you uncomfortable, or what can seem as terrifying, especially with your cutting edge of your true north. You're looking at it square in the face. And you're also looking at where you've blamed the self when it wasn't deserving. And you're lightening the load. This is basically looking at any types of nightmares, insomnias, fear of the inevitable change that's been coming at us. And you're getting what's yours. You're going after what's yours with that Mars energy. The Geminian energy as well is also speaking to Uranus. Remember, we've got Uranus in Gemini in our 10th house, and this only changes once every 84 years. This is going to be lasting quite a long time for us with this change. You're going after what you truly are being called for, what you're realizing, especially with Mercury's Cazimi, what you were made for. And you're embracing that air energy. With 9, this is about completions, achievements of your goals, not taking no for an answer when it comes to going after what you're truly called to and settling for less instead. And know what I meant to say, basically not settling for less, going after what's yours. So if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because this is truly an end of a cycle. This with your sacral chakra as well is utilizing the past as a wisdom, no longer letting wounds try and control you, but looking at them with a fresh perspective, an empowered perspective, that they are instead meant to teach you lessons to prepare you for your ascension, for your freedom, for your power, especially when it comes to work, career, contracts. So especially with the Sagittarian moon, like I say, it embodies and invites the spirit of the explorer. Don't be surprised when we have the moon moving into Sagittarius like this, that you'll feel a desire for freedom when it comes to work, career, contracts, legal matters, especially when it comes to Uranus. With this opposition with Uranus here, that's where both of them are working together with your 10th house and really challenging you to look at What's been depleting you? What's been discouraging you? Where have you been losing your inner fire? Where have you been overreacting? Where have you been too conservative as well? With the Two of Swords in reverse coming in as well, this is where you're getting clarity. You're being decisive and taking decisive action. You're also looking at where you've made the wrong choices, where you've made or had poor judgment, and you're correcting those mistakes. You're trusting your inner compass. You're trusting your inner gut, and you're also making rational decisions that are well grounded for you and shine light on the shadows that possibly you've turned a blind eye to, especially when it comes to balancing the scales with acknowledging, empowering your self-worth. And this is where you're taking action. With the Eight of Wands, this is acceleration. You're fast and quickly approaching your goals, not only with incoming messages, but there's good news coming. You are, if you felt restricted, the chain, the veils are coming off come August here. This is gorgeous. Things are accelerating. But more importantly, you are finding that by standing in your truth, by not accepting less, by exalting yourself with Venus's energy, this is where you're truly shining light on the truth of your stability, where you want to go. You're also lighting that fire of what needs to happen in order for you to get there, right? So with the opposition, especially when it comes to Uranus and the moon during this time, don't be surprised that questions really come up in the way of like why or how you choose what you want or chose what you want when it comes to your career path, what you're currently in, and what's been calling to you in case they're not aligned. If they are aligned, you're reaffirming those types of decisions in a very big way that leads to contentment. If they're not aligned, Pluto's asking you, urging you, is there something better? Is there something more fulfilling? Is there something more aligned to you? How can we work smarter, not harder, especially with thinking outside the box, with our innovation, with building wealth easier, especially when it comes to looking at the Five of Pentacles energy. If you've been in a lack mentality, looking at material or spiritual poverty aspects, coming to the table really with why is this happening to me, not what is this trying to teach me. And again, check out the truth about your soul contract, astrology, and the zodiacs, because it goes into quite a bit of this empowerment. It may just help you with giving you a whole new light of perspective with what you've been encountering, especially if it comes to financial difficulties. Because remember, desperate people do desperate things. Don't let your desperation define your moments or define your decisions. This is also too when it comes to health or illnesses, especially with Mars and Virgo. He's bringing to light things where it's like, look, we gotta change something here. But also too, it adds to the resilience. It gives you the resilience this weekend where you're truly walking in your truth as the spirit of exploration, right? Facing those fears and not being afraid of uncertainty because you know what you want, where you want to go, and over all these issues, these setbacks, difficulties, challenges, you're realizing and you're facing them with the knowledge, with the perspective that they're only temporary. This too shall pass. You too shall move and move forward. And this is Taurian energy. This is total grounding towards your contentment, total movement towards your contentment. Could be dealing with a Taurus as well. But it really speaks to entering a new cycle. And like I say, August, get ready to breathe and receive. You are magnetized to your legacy. This is like energy coming in with this grand trine and so much more. I just don't want to take away from the thunder of this weekend. But moving into August, it's like building your legacy in your sleep, receiving financial gain in your sleep, moving towards the right direction, your called direction. And whatever doesn't serve you, you're letting it go. As we're moving into August, there's nothing that you're taking with you from that old you, from that old era, because you're walking into a new era with spiritual growth, with epiphanies, overthrowing misconceptions and saying, hey, wait a minute, I'm not afraid of change. I'm not afraid of uncertainty because I know who I am. And you're letting everything that was unstable fall to the wayside. And two, this really speaks quite a bit when it comes to, again, Mars's energy. Mars, between the first house and the second house, is really going to be helping you not only with standing up and fighting for yourself, for your commitments, for your relationships, but then moving into income, wealth, salary, self-worth. This is like no longer accepting pennies for, and it's really coming to the term, what comes to mind is like recognizing that, money, finances are energy, recognizing that you're deserving of everything that you go after and calling that out when it's not being reciprocated, when people are trying to get you to settle for less or treating you like you are less than you deserve. Also, too, with Mars between the first and the second house movement, with moving from Virgo to Libra, this is like grounded energy then going into our air energy. Both of them are incredible. Like, what really speaks to me is like becoming an orchid, becoming an air plant. And with your spirit totems, before I get into this, but that's where it's like you're moving into greatness. Before I get too far ahead, I'm jumping here around because I'm getting these messages. But with air plants, what's so cool about them is they are so adaptive. They are so resilient. They are so versatile. They get their nutrients from every bit of the plant, from the roots, from the leaves, from the flowers. All of their nutrients come, though, from their atmosphere around them. The energy that they need, that they can adapt and get their nutrients from the earth as well as from the air, is so incredibly prolific, but it's entirely special in such a great way. And what I love about orchids, too, is it's been a while since I've done my research, so don't quote me on this. Correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm off on the exact number. Just Google it. But I want to say that there are over like 1,000 different varieties. This is also standing in the realization, the epiphanies, that we are stronger together. There are so many different varieties of air plants, of orchids just in general, species-wise. Each one of them is different, and each one of them is unique, has a gift in each and every way that it is, in each and every flower that it grows. This is where you're standing in your greatness and remembering, standing, embodying that leadership is your path, and it's because love is your strength. This is where your wisdom inspires everyone that you meet. You can overcome any problem. That's the thing about an air plant as well. And I forget the scientific name. Put it in the comments below if you know it. But this is where you'll naturally and easily achieve your success. Mars is helping you in August big time, especially at the beginning of the month here. And it'll be in Libra all month just to prepare you as well. So this will be a huge transformation. It's long lasting as well. But this is going after your personal growth, your drive in achieving positive changes in your life, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, your career, your self-care, your purpose, your heart's desires. And you're becoming more aligned in such a prolific way that truly lets you know, especially with Mercury and the Sun in Leo in our 12th house, that you are meant for greatness, and you're no longer settling for less. You're no longer trying to dim that light either. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, share your thoughts, like, share, subscribe. But before we go, I just wanted to look at our major arcana. So music, meditation, journaling this weekend, as you make sense of all the transformation that came at you, that came through you, flowed through you with all these changing signs in July. Meditation and music is going to help with healing you, grounding you. And myself, I'm also called to give you guys more tools in that way. So I want to really produce these videos focusing on the solfeggio sounds, healing sounds that align our chakras as well as clear our blockages, detoxify negative energies, but help heal us along the way as well. So I've put together a few of them. I'm learning as I go. It's been wonderful with trying to learn new tools, new tech, especially during Mercury retrograde. I'm making amends. But I can't stress it enough. The healing qualities of music are so incredibly prolific. So This is the time to really get into that embodiment, really dive into extra tools, and stay tuned as well, because I'm going to be providing as many of them as I can for you guys to help you on your journey. If you do music improv, though, what we pulled is the key of C. That's so grounding. I can't even just tell you. And then also to color therapy. Red, this speaks to your root chakra. We also have the third eye for any type of blockages. So if you've been getting downloads from Mercury, especially from Mercury Kazemi, where you're like, wait a minute, this is making me question my everything. Focus on clearing out that third eye chakra. Amethyst will also help with calming down the mental chatter. But with the third eye, this is really about holding your vision through change, through any type of bias as well, questioning your lens, but also too holding your vision and allowing yourself to dream as big as the universe, because the universe, source, is in you. You are the creator. You create the life you want. You don't live in the life that other people tell you. And if that resonates, like I say, by all means, share your thoughts, put a heart in the comments below, because this also speaks to the root, like I was saying with that red. This is building, knowing that you're safe in all parts of who you are, why you're here, and all parts of your life. By knowing that safety, by embodying that safety, that gives you the stability and the strength, the unshakability to weather through any storm, through adaptability and resilience. And so I truly hope that this reading helps. I am wishing you guys a wonderful weekend. I'm sending you guys so much love and light. Take care, and I will see you in the next reading.